Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An hour of comedy straight ahead. We start off in Hollywood with an episode of the Phil Harris Alice-Faye Show. This episode from February 25th, 1951. It appears that Phil did real good in the golf tournament down in Palm Springs, and, well, now he thinks he's unbeatable.
From Hollywood, the Phil Harris Alice-Faye Show. For your enjoyment, here is the Phil Harris Alice-Faye Show, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Scharf and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice-Faye and Phil Harris. A few weeks ago, Phil Harris and his golf partner, Dutch Harrison, won the Bing Crosby Pro Amateur Tournament at Pebble Beach. It's been quite some time since they won, but Phil hasn't let anybody forget about it. Right now, he's managed to trap his two innocent little children in the den.
Well, girls, now that I got you cornered, I'm going to tell you how I won the Bing Crosby Golf Tournament. Come back here. Won't do you any good to run for the exits. I locked all the doors and swallowed the keys. Nah. Now, girls, pay attention while I tell you how I sunk that 60-foot putt on the 17th hole.
Well, here we go again, Phyllis. We might as well sit down. This always takes hours.
You mean I told you this story before?
11 times.
Oh. Well, anyway, I'll show you how I teed off at the 17th hole. I took the club in my hands and
Careful,
I took a...
Daddy. There's a vase in back of you.
Please, I know what a... Vase? Well, la-di-da. She has an English truant officer. Thank you, baby Rosemary. Look, honey, I know how to handle the club. Now, as I was saying, I took the club, swung it back... Phyllis, stop dropping your baby teeth while I'm swinging.
That wasn't my teeth, Daddy. You broke Mommy's vase.
Oh, no, your mother will fracture me. Why couldn't it have been your teeth? You're going to get a second set anyway.
Phil, what happened in there?
Uh-oh, hold this club, Phyllis.
Oh, no, you don't. You're not going to plant any hot brassy on me.
What was that crashing here? I thought I... Phil Harris, what's that on the floor?
The rug.
Well, what's that scattered on the rug?
Cigar ashes. I told the kids not to smoke in the living room because...
Stop it. Those aren't ashes. Those are... Oh, Phil, you broke my Chinese vase.
Vase, dear, vase.
How did it happen?
Well, I was telling the girls how I won the Crosby tournament at Pebble Beach, and look, as long as you're here, I'll tell you, too.
Hold. If I have to hear that story once more, I'm going home to Mother.
Well, wait, and I'll get my hat and go with you. She hasn't heard the story yet, I don't think. Neither of you, have you, Willie?
Everybody's heard it. We don't want to hear it again. Oh, I'd give anything if I could find a golfer to beat the knickers off of you.
Fine thing. A man wins a tournament and his own family won't listen to him tell about it. Nobody loves me in this house. Everybody hates me. Oh, if I was only old enough, I'd run away from home so fast. I sink an 80-foot putt and nobody wants to hear about how I did it. I tell you, Alice, it was an impossible shot. But I made it.
Impossible, he says. Frankie told me you couldn't miss it.
What do you mean?
He said you made him go out the night before and magnetize the cup and the ball.
That is a bald-faced lie. Wait till I see Remley. He's always trying to cause trouble. I don't know what's the matter with the guy. Why don't he leave what? Wait a minute, I'll get that.
Hiya, Curly.
Don't curly me, you broken-down, rum-soaked, I can play anything by ear, fink.
Glad to see me, huh?
Yeah. Come in, you no-talent Eddie Peabody, you.
What's the matter with you? Did your waves set harden too fast and crack your little skull?
Nobody has a bone to pick with you.
I certainly do have a bone to pick with you. Just to belittle me and get me in trouble with my wife, you have to tell her a lie about me.
Which lie are you talking about?
Talking about the lie you told her about Pebble Beach, and I want you to tell her what really happened and tell her the truth.
Okay. Alice, you remember when I told you about the night Curly went out to dinner with Bing Crosby?
Yes.
Well, her name wasn't really Bing. Her name was Bubble.
Not that one. Let's get back to the golf. All I want you to do is to tell her how I made that 140-foot putt. And tell her that the hole and the ball weren't magnetized.
No, of course they weren't, Alice. That was just a wild story I made up.
Good. Now tell her how I really did make it.
We planted a strong vacuum cleaner in the hole and sucked the ball.
Well, that's very interesting. Now, Phil, tell me all about Bubbles.
Oh, Bubbles. Well, Saved by the Bell Telephone Company. I'll get that 1 minute.
Oh, Phil, who is that on the phone?
Can't understand it. Everybody else likes me on the air. How could a man talk to me like that over the phone and call me such names?
Well, who called Phil?
Mr. Scott, our sponsor. I say sponsor.
Well, what did he want?
Well, today's the day he's supposed to pick up my option, and he wants me to come down to his office and give him one good reason why he should.
Well, there are a lot of reasons why I should pick you up, Curly. None of them are any good, but there are a lot of reasons.
All right, Frankie, please. Now, this is no time for that, because it could be very serious. If you don't pick up my option, that means that I'm going to be out of work.
Oh, what if you are, honey? You have nothing to worry about.
What do you mean I got nothing to worry about? Don't you realize, Alice, if I'm out of work, who's going to support you?
Oh, Phil, stop making jokes at a time like this. Now, there's no sense getting upset until you know exactly what Mr. Scott is going to do. Let's go down and see him.
I'll go with you, Curly. You might need some legal advice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Harris, but that's the way I feel about it.
And Mr. Scott, you can't do this to me. I've done a good job as a comedian on your show. I've told a lot of funny jokes. I'll admit I've done a straight line here and there, but you got to give the audience a chance to catch their breath. You just can't keep them laughing all the time.
One laugh in October and one in January is all the time?
I got a titter in December.
Now, please, Mr. Scott, don't you think you're being unreasonable? Won't you please reconsider?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Harris, I'm sorry. I've given this a great deal of thought, and begging won't do any good. I'm a man who does not... Will you please get off my lap?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was up there.
Now, this bickering is ridiculous. Now, look, Scotty, stop horsing around and sign this contract.
Remley, you keep out of this, or I'll be forced to blunt the top of your pointed little head.
Scotty, you better sign this, or I'll tell everybody that you absconded with $50,000 of the company's money and went to Las Vegas.
I only took it in nickels. I like to play the slot machines. I didn't abscond with any money. All I did was borrow a lousy $3 from petty cash.
Now, Mr. Scott, just why are you letting my husband go?
Mrs. Harris, I didn't say I was letting him go.
You didn't?
No. All I'm trying to tell you, Harris, is that with conditions the way they are, I'll have to cut your salary slightly.
Oh, well, gee, that's all right. I don't mind making a little less.
Oh, well, now that's the spirit, Harris. And I'm sure you'll find some way of getting along on $8 a week.
Hey, look, Mr. Scott, I'm willing to make a slight cut, but this is ridiculous. And I don't have to entertain for a living. There are other ways that I can make money.
Like what? I dare you to name one honest way.
I can make a good living at golf.
You probably could if you caddied every day in the week.
Look, I'm not talking about caddy, and I happen to be a champion golfer. I won the Bing Crosby tournament at Pebble Beach. Or haven't I told you about that?
You told me. I'm tired of hearing you brag about your golf. I could use a broom and beat you.
You could beat me? Did you hear that, Remley?
Yeah. Did you hear that, Alice?
Yeah. And he probably could.
All right, please. Look, Scotty, I'll tell you what I'll do with you, bud. I'll play you a private match and make you a little bet.
It's a deal.
Okay, I'll bet you $50 that I beat you.
Make it 100, Curly. We still got the vacuum cleaner.
Keep quiet about that gimmick. We don't get that out until we play for the big stuff. Look, let it go. Look, I don't want to take advantage of that old man. He's going to be a cinch.
You sure?
I'm the champ, ain't I?
Well, in that case, I'm going to bet $50 on you, too.
Are you kidding, Clyde? You ain't had $50 since that Brink robbery in Boston.
I've got it. Mr. Scott, I'll bet you $50, too, that you don't beat Curly.
Very well. But what are you going to use for money?
Here's my personal check for $50.
Well, bounce it over and let me look at it.
My check happens to be good.
Let me see it.
Hmm?
First National Bank of Outer Mongolia?
It's a subsidiary of the Himalaya Building and Loan Association. As you can see, the check is made out in your name.
So I see. Pay to the order of Clyde Scott, 50 and no 100 llamas. Remley, I hope you don't think I'm chicken, but I'd like to Welsh on our bet.
Yeah, Remley, let him be chicken. Forget about this.
No, this is a sure thing. Wait a minute. I know where I can place a bet. Curly, I'll meet you at the golf course. Where and when are you going to play?
How about 2 o'clock at my club?
Oh, no, let's make it 2 o'clock at my club.
Well, I think you ought to play on a neutral course. Why don't you play at my club?
Your club, Remley?
Yeah, the Swampland Country Club and Dredging Company. Better wear your hip boots, Scotty.
I never heard of the Swampland Country Club.
Oh, well, it's very famous. That's where Chloe got lost. She was looking for a crow flight at the time.
We'll play at my club, Lakeside.
Yeah, okay, I'll meet you out there. Don't worry, Curly, you can't lose. I'm going to be caddying for you.
Yeah, okay, Frankie. Okay, Scotty, I'll meet you at Lakeside, 2 o'clock.
Yes, one more thing, Harris. I want this game to be on the level.
So?
So Remley won't be caddying for you. I'll get you a caddy.
Get me a caddy. I'll see you later, Scotty.
Say, Phil, do you think you'll win?
Think I'll win. Honey, I can't lose. It'll be the easiest 50 I ever made. It'll be like doing the Southern Fried Boogie.
What's that?
What are you thinking? You better duck the trombone player standing in back of you.
And while Phil engages in some Southern Fried Boogie, we'll engage in a message. February 25th, 1951, the Phil Harris Alice-Faye Show, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of the Phil Harris Alice-Faye Show. And, of course, you're going to hear Frank Remley, portrayed by Elliot Lewis, and you're going to hear Mr. Scott, portrayed by Gail Gordon. February 25th, 1951, as they go golfing.
This is certainly a nice club you belong to, Mr. Scott.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Harris.
Say, Phil, you ought to join this club.
Oh, they wouldn't let him in here.
Why not? Why can't Phil join?
They don't allow actors.
Answer my question. Why can't Phil join? He's not
All
really.
right, Alice, all right. You ready to be beaten, Scotty? When do we start? Let's get going.
As soon as the caddy I hired for you gets here. Now then, Harris, about your handicap.
Oh, in this game, forget about it. I don't need no handicap.
I'm giving you one anyway.
If you insist, okay. What is my handicap?
I'm going to be your caddy.
I'm dead. Mr. Scott, why did you hire Willie as my caddy? Do you realize that this little squirt will do everything he can to make me lose?
Yeah. I know what I'm doing every minute.
Mr. Scott, this isn't fair. I can't win if Scorpy-Faye is going to caddy for me. And I refuse to let this guy...
Quit belly aching and tee up.
I won't do it. You're going to do everything you can to louse me up.
Philip, how can you say that? After all, I'm your caddy, and it's my sworn duty to do everything in my power to help you win. Besides, what can I do to make you lose?
Well, you probably went behind the clubhouse and sawed all of my clubs halfway through.
That's not fair. You peaked.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to play with broken clubs.
Well, here, you can use mine.
Okay, and I'm ready to tee off. And remember, Willie, no more tricks, huh?
Very well. I'll do everything I can to help you.
Well, good. Now, hand me a ball.
Tennis, meat, or codfish?
Just give me a regular ball.
Oh, you're going to do it the sissy way, All right, here's a ball.
Thank you. My first shot will be a trick one. Lie down, Willie. I'm going to knock this one off your head.
Bill, you can't knock a golf ball off Willie's head.
Who said anything about using a ball?
Harris, are you going to play or kibitz?
But, Mr. Scott, it ain't fair. You give me a loaded caddy. I say loaded. Now, beat it, will you, Willie? I don't want you around. Scotty, I hate to say this, but I think you're cheating.
Who, me? I'll have you know I don't cheat. I play this game for the mere fun of it.
Well, in that case, okay.
Yes, now let's get on with the game. Now remember, Harris, if I win, you give me $50. And if you win, I hope you don't have too much trouble finding another job.
Mr. Scott, why should it cost me my job if I win?
I'm a sore loser. Golf means a lot to me. When I win, I feel good all over. But when I lose, I suddenly develop arthritis in my option signing hand. Catch on, kid?
Yeah, I'm George now. I'm right on with it. Yeah, I got it now, Scotty. Excuse me a minute, Scotty. Look, Alice, did you hear that? If I want to keep my job, I got to throw this game. Now, what am I going to do?
Throw the game. Radio jobs are scarce, and you don't televise well.
Well, I got news for you. I'm not going to do it. I can get another job, and in the meantime, we can live on your money, and every time I say that, the blood drains out of her face. All right, look, Alice, I'm going to throw the game, but don't you ever tell anybody that I threw a game to keep my job. If that ever came out...
Hey, Curly! I'm glad to see you haven't teed off yet.
Where have you been, Remley?
I went to see a guy and I placed a good-sized bet on you to win.
Frankie, you shouldn't have done it because I got it. Well, look, don't ask me why, but I'm going to lose.
You're going to lose?
Yes, I'm going to lose. But don't worry, kid. I'll pay you back everything you bet on me.
You will?
Certainly. How much did you bet?
$3 million. I prefer you give it to me in cash because the check...
Will you be quiet a minute? Now, I'm going to lose the game.
Curly, you won't lose this game.
How do you know I won't?
Because I hired the scorekeeper.
Oh, no. If you hired the scorekeeper, he must be crooked.
Maybe I am, but you can't prove it.
Grover! You're the scorekeeper?
At your service, Bright Eyes, and with me keeping score, you gotta win.
But, Grogan, you can't keep score. You don't know nothing about golf.
I don't know nothing about golf. Me, who for 20 years was the pro at the Leavenworth Country Club.
Now, just a moment. I won't allow this man to be the scorekeeper. He doesn't look honest to me.
Who is this fat slob?
He is my opponent. This is Mr. Scott, Grogan. This is my boss.
Glad to meet you, Scotty, and it's too bad you lost.
What do you mean I lost? We haven't started to play yet.
You don't argue with me. According to the scorecard, Harris won the game.
What scorecard?
The one I filled out after I placed 10,000 on Harris to win.
Grogan, don't tell me that you bet 10,000 on me to win.
Well, sure, certainly. I got it spread out all over the country.
I forgot to mention Sheldon Leonard. Phil Harris, Alice-Faye, February 25th, 1951. The conclusion follows these messages. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of the Phil Harris Alice-Faye show, along with Elliot Lewis and Sheldon Leonard and Gail Gordon from February 25th, 1951.
I got it spread out all over the country. I bet $2,000 in Los Angeles, 1 in St. Louis, 2 in Chicago, 2 in Philadelphia, and 3 in New York.
Nothing in Boston?
No, I've been banned in Boston.
Look, Grogan, you shouldn't have bet on me because I'm going to lose.
Ho, 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 he's going to lose, he says. Harris, jokes like that make my Tringer figure itch.
Tringer finger? You know, we just found something, Remley, we never dreamed we had. Just where is that located, Mr. Are you threatening me with your Tringer finger?
Why, heavens to rigor mortis, no.
Say, Scotty, maybe we ought to call this game off, huh?
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Well, it ain't okay with me. I got $10,000 riding on Harris to win this game, and he better win. Now tee off, fatso.
Yes, sir. But I insist we play this fair and square.
Well, naturally. This won't be played under the Marcus of Grogan rules. Now I'll put this ball down and you tee off.
No, wait a minute, Grogan. I'm supposed to tee off first.
Don't touch that ball, Harris.
Why not?
It's got enough nitroglycerin in it to blow you back to doo-wah-diddy.
Oh, after you, Scotty. And when you hit the ball by... No. I can't do that to him. Sponsors are too hard to get. Look, Scotty, you better use your own ball.
Very well. Now, quiet while I tee off. 4.
Oh, Phil, I couldn't wait for you to get back. Who won the game?
Well, we don't know yet, honey. Grogan's adding up the score now, but it was very close.
Close? I beat the pants off you, Harris. Grogan, read the final score.
Yeah, okay. Here are the official figures. Scott, 18 holes, 78 strokes. Harris, 18 holes, 16 strokes.
$16 strokes for 18 holes?
Yep. 2 under par. Oh, yeah, you played a great game, Harris.
Oh, if I'd have been using my Tringer finger, I'd have done it the flowers. Well, I'm afraid I beat you, Mr. Scott.
How can you lose with this mobster keeping score for you? You can beat anybody with a man like him on your side. Grogan, I've been playing golf for 30 years, and I play every day for large stakes.
So?
How much would you charge to keep score for me?
Folks, this is Phil again with a very important message. Maury Luxford, General Campaign Chairman for the Los Angeles Heart Fund Drive, gives me the following startling facts. Last year, more people died of heart diseases than the total population of San Francisco. 10 million Americans today are suffering from some form of heart disease. 1 out of every 3 people die from some form of heart ailment. The Heart Campaign throughout the nation is raising money for research to find the causes which kill more people than all of the next 9 major diseases combined. So send your contribution to Heart, care of your local post office. Give from your heart to your heart. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This program was produced and directed by Paul Phillips. Included in today's cast were Sheldon Leonard and Gail Gordon. The part of Frankie Remley was played by Elliot Lewis.
There you go, February 25th, 1951. Phil Harris and Alice-Faye here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas. Now, to give you an idea of what's going on in this particular episode, Abner bought something at an auction, and he didn't know what it was. Turns out what he bought was a transceiver, a radio transmitter and receiver. And so they've decided that they're going to start a Pine Ridge radio station, VPR, the voice of Pine Ridge. So let's listen to this episode from February 24th, 1953, as they try to figure out the management of said radio station. Answer the phone.
Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
I dog his lum. I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot 'em down, store. This is Lum-and-Abner.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge.
Hello, this is your Pine Ridge reporter, Dick Huddleston. Yesterday, Lum drew up a paper giving him practically all important jobs in the proposed Pine Ridge radio station. And he convinced Abner that he was making quite a sacrifice to take those jobs. In fact, he was so convincing that Abner tore up the paper and hired Lum at $10 a week to give him a better break. And I don't think old Lum's any too happy about it. Well, let's see here now. You said we ought to have programs on this radio station.
Did I?
Just what kind of programs did you have in mind, Lum?
I wouldn't know.
Well, now, you must have had something in mind when you bring it up yesterday. In that paper you drawed up, you was going to be program director, so you must have been figuring on some kind of program.
Well, Abner, you're the owner of this radio station. You oughtn't to be asking me any questions about it.
Well, yeah, I'm the owner, but...
You're just hiring me for $10 a week. You're the one supposed to tell me what to do. I ain't supposed to tell you.
Well, yeah, but... Now, if you got any opinions, why, What, you just feel free to go ahead and tell them to me.
Any feller that works for $10 a week ain't got no opinions. You just go ahead and do this the way you want to, Abner. It's all yours. You own the machine. You own the radio company. I'm just working here.
Well, Lum, I don't believe you got the right altitudes towards this.
Ain't I?
The only reason I tore up that partnership paper that you wanted me to sign was 'cause I was afraid that you wasn't getting a fair deal. And this way, you're at least getting $10 a week.
Sure.
Now,
I might have overdone that a little bit yesterday.
good. I'm proud to hear you say it. It's just the way I feel. I want you to get a fair deal. Yes, sir. Now, what programs do you think we ought to have?
I told you I don't know.
Well, now, Lum, you ought to be able to study up something. You're smart.
Am I?
Why, sure.
Much obliged to you.
Lum, I don't know why you're acting this way. Are you mad about something?
No. Everything's fine. Just Jim Dandy.
Good.
Just want to know when I start working, so when you're going to get things into operation.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
Well, what do you want me to announce on the radio? What do you want me to do?
Well, I don't know yet,
Well,
Lum.
you're paying me $10 a week, you know. You want to get your money's worth out of me.
Yeah.
Can't afford to have people on the payroll sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, well, now, don't rush me now. I got to study this thing out first.
Seems to me like you ought to have that done dead. Big radio station executive like you.
Well, now, don't forget, Lum, I'm new at this. I ain't been in it long. Well, facts is, I just started in it today. Now, Lum, just what do you think would be the best way for us to go... Or, wait a minute, there comes Grandpap. Maybe he's got some ideas the radio business could use.
The only ideas Grandpap's got about radio is that it ain't here to stay. He thinks the whole thing's just a fly-by-night.
Yeah, he ain't exactly a radio fan. He loves to play that player piano of his all the time. That's what he does. Wonder if that new watchdog he's got's let him in the house yet.
I don't know.
Last time I heard, he was aiming to lawsuit the dog for keeping him and his woman separated. You were supposed to look up the law on that, too, Lum. Come in, Grandpap.
Yeah, howdy, Abner. Howdy, Lum. Yeah, howdy, Grandpap.
How you getting along with that old dog, Garfield, over there?
Well, I think we finally studied up a way to take care of that varmint.
Well, good for you. I'm proud to hear it.
I want to get a long piece of rope, Abner.
Rope? Now, just a minute, Grandpap. You can't hang that dog. Ain't even got a judgment against him for allotating of your afflictions or whatever it is you said. Fact is, I don't believe you can lawsuit a dog. Can you, Lum?
Oh, he could lawsuit him all right, but
Well, now, Lum, a dog can't stand up there and hold up his paw and say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Well, that's just what I started explaining to you. You see, he'd have to lawsuit the dog's owner, too. And the dog's owner does the testifying.
Oh.
And that's Grandpap.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't want to sue myself. I know that for sure. I'm liable to lose the case either way, so I better get a hunk of rope. I'll get it for you, Grandpap. Somebody's got to work in the store around here while the other one's too busy running a big radio station.
Now, Lum, I'll get it for him. How much of a piece of rope did you want, Grandpap?
Oh, I don't know, 25 or 30 feet.
All right.
50 feet or 75.
Well, now, how much do you want?
Sort of a long piece, I reckon.
All right. I'll make it 50.
What'd you say, Abner?
I said I'll make it...
I'd say about 60 feet.
You're sure of that now?
Sure, I'm sure.
All right, then. I'll measure it out for you.
60 or 70. 40'd probably do it.
You're getting 50. Lum, cut him off 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, sir.
What do you want a rope for, Grandpap?
Well, we're going to try to smoke the dog out.
With a rope?
No, just wanted the rope to tie him up after we smoke him out.
Grandpap, how can you smoke a dog out of a yard?
Well, we got him trapped in the smokehouse out there in the back.
Oh.
Charity tried to sneak out there into the smokehouse to get some victuals, and Garfield chased her in there, so she slammed the door on him and clumb up out of the window in the roof.
What? Charity, your woman done that?
Yes, sir, Rita.
Doggone, I'd love to have seen that. As old as she is, scrambling through that little window.
Oh, she's active for her age, that woman. She's a goer.
She is, huh?
She won the 100-yard dash at the Daughters of the Hiawatha's picnic last summer.
She did?
Won out over a bunch of young women, 50 to 55-year-olds.
Bless her heart.
Oh, you ought to see the muscles in them legs of hern when she gets 'em all bunched up.
Well?
Yeah, again she picks up her skirts and starts tearing down the road. Looks like she's got a stocking full of Brussels sprouts. Yeah, I wish Lum would hurry with that rope.
What you in such a rush about?
Well, Charity's waiting down there watching the smoke buckets.
Oh?
See, we lowered some scuttles full of burning rags and green brush and one thing and another and lowered 'em down through the window.
Well, Grandpap, wouldn't Garfield just come out of the smokehouse if you opened the door?
With all them hams hanging in there? Besides, we got to get him so groggy with smoke he can just barely wobble.
Well, ain't the smoke going to hurt the stuff you got stored in there?
Well, for the land's sakes, Abner, it can't hurt the canned preserves. And it certainly can't hurt the smoked hams none.
No.
They're done smoked anyway.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Well, here's your rope, Grandpap. Yeah, I reckon that'll be all right. Well, I'd better be getting along. You want to pay cash for it or put it on the books, Grandpap? What'd you say, Lum? Well, I'll put it on the books.
Yeah, so long, Grandpap, and good luck to you.
Yeah, so long.
Let us know how you come out. Doggies, that's the one stubbornest dog I ever heard of.
Yeah, he's stubborn, all right.
Almost as stubborn as some fellers I know.
Now, just what do you mean by that remark, Abner?
I mean about starting this radio station. I don't seem to get no help from you at all, Lum. And I know you must have some ideas on this.
Well, I have a few.
Well, what are they then?
Well, I'd tell you, but it just seems to me that you'd do away yonder better by getting advice from somebody smarter than a $10 a week man.
Lum, I don't care who I get the advice from, just so's I get it.
But a big executive in your position has got to be careful, Abner. You can't go taking advice from just anybody.
Look, Lum, I might just as well admit I don't know a whole lot about this. I've just got to have help of some kind. How about me pointing you to that job of a program director?
Me?
Yes, sir.
A $10 a week man? To a big job like that? What are you thinking of anyway?
Well, you could do it, Lum.
Well, I don't know.
In that paper that you wrote up yesterday, you had yourself down there as program director. Now, didn't you?
Yeah, but you tore that up.
Well, I'm going to point you program director again. So now you just go ahead with that part of it.
Well, you'll have to tell me what to do. You're the owner.
Well, can't you do whatever you had wrote down on that paper?
I told you tore that up.
I know I tore it up, Lum, but can't you recollect what you wrote on it? Doggies.
Oh, it's pretty hard. Special for a little old $10 a week man.
I'll raise your salary then. I'll give you 15.
I doubt if I'm worth it.
Now, can you recollect any of that stuff?
It's coming back to me a little.
Good.
It's still pretty dim, though. I think you better get somebody else.
No, I want you, Lum. How about $20 a week?
I doubt if the company can afford it. After all, you're just starting up this business, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you what, I'll make you business manager. Then you can figure out the finances.
Well, I don't know.
Now, that was another job you put yourself down for in that paper, so you must have figured you knowed something about it.
Yeah, but I'm going to be pretty busy trying to make both ends meet on that program director job, if I take it, of which I have my doubts.
Well, I'll pay you something for being business manager, too.
I still don't see where the money's going to come from. You're going to need a better business manager than me to figure that out.
Well, doggies, you can try, can't you, Lum?
Well, I hate to run you into bankruptcy right off in the bat. You're going to hire an announcer, too, you know.
Well, I'll hire you.
And pay yourself a salary for being president of the company?
I won't take no salary. I'll give you the job if you'll just come in with me.
President, you mean?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm feared not. You better be the president. After all, you own the short-waving machine.
Well, if I give you a half interest in the machine, will you take the job of being president?
I don't know. Granny's, you drive a hard bargain, Abner.
Well, I'm sorry, Lum, but I've just got to do it.
You have to give me time to think this over, I think.
Lum, I know this is a terrible thing to ask you to do, but I wish you'd make up your mind right away on it.
Well, just looks to me like the only way you could keep from going bankrupt paying me that salary would be to... No, you wouldn't want to do that.
Wouldn't want to do what?
Oh, nothing.
What is it?
Oh, making me a full partner with a half interest in everything, but I doubt
That's what I'll do. Full partner, half interest.
No, Abner.
Yes, sir, that's what I want to do. Now, you get busy and draw up a paper saying that, and I'll sign it.
Well, now, you sure that's what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm sure. Get busy right this minute. Draw it up. Here,
There's a pencil right there. Wait a minute, I'll get you something to write on.
Well, you don't need to bother to get nothing to write on, Abner.
But I want you to...
But you don't need to. Here, I've got a paper all drawn up.
Huh?
Full partnership, half interest. Right here's where you sign.
Lum always has those angles that he tries to work, doesn't he? From February 24th, 1953, Lum-and-Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And, I want to thank Ted over at RadioMemories.com. Back when we started doing these kind of shows back, 20, 25 years ago, the audio we had was just not good. And people like Ted, RadioMemories.com, have restored these programs to where they're in near pristine condition, probably sounding better than they did when you heard them on the radio back in the 50s or the 40s or the 30s. Ted does all the restoration. You can find him at RadioMemories.com. He has programs available on cassette, on CD, or on flash drive for your computer. So if you've got family members who love the old radio shows but don't have CDs or don't have computers or iPods or phones that you can listen to them on, you can get them a cassette. Check with Ted, RadioMemories.com. That's RadioMemories.com. Also, do me a favor and visit our webpage, which is classicradio.stream. Stream our shows and learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me there, find our social media links, and if you want to, you can buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio collections as we build out our collection and keeps our distribution channels up and running, so you can find them in your on your podcast app or on YouTube, or even find them on your radio station. That's classicradio.stream. Also, thank this station, support their advertisers, and all important is tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.